and welcome to this new session. Today, I am going to give you a demo of on how you can improve sales on Amazon. And the basic notion of the project is quite simple. As we all know, these days we are hearing a lot about the use cases of AI on the sales channel, opportunity planning. Recently, actually, Microsoft launched 11 of their chatbots that helps you to plan your campaign and accordingly all of the sales activities, follow up, pipeline planning, and others. And the main purpose of the project I have been working is to explain that how you can use your own data and build a more personalized and more accurate model for your own project. So as you can see, I will give you a sort of a design summary, which is more like a quick dashboard that helps you to plan. So if you are a seller, right, you are interested which items will help you make the best profit, what are the hot items to purchase and put in your inventory, and then most important, right, over the several months you can actually plan which items will sell fast and others. So there is a lot of AI and algorithmic approach had been taken over here. In terms of dashboard, if you can see, there is a KPI box that explains the top items. As you can see, both the quantities and the revenue which had been sold. Then the sales distribution across different items, right? Which ones are selling fast. Then again, it's not just the sales item price distribution, because perhaps some items are niche, but ultimately it gives you the best profit. So, and then we do the scatter plots, like how the causality of the sales works, right? Like how the changing of your discounts is impacting your sales, how the setting the right price point. As we all know, price follows a sort of an inverted U curve, so it's important to analyze how to set the right price for your product. And then comes the more towards the forecasting side, where actually you can select perhaps the duration, right? Like I have those items, so tell me over the period of 30 days or 60 days what will be the number of like the sales quantities of the items will look like. And then the bottom piece is more about how the dashboard and UI design works. As we all know, right, that's a very common adage that um, if I mean you can experience it, then actually you can sell it, right? So the dashboard is more like how you can maneuver different items, right? And then the tabular view, and most important, right, like how this scaling say things work, right? It's more about the top items and the the quantities and the scale. I will show you a bit more on this and how I have actually approached it. So actually, I have picked up the Amazon data sets available on Kaggle, and there is a number of online resources. I specifically followed a few books, as you can see, that explains how we can actually model the sales pipeline and make it more interactive. So with this background, let me just quickly jump to the code description, right? So as you can see over here, hopefully you can watch it, but still I will just zoom in a bit. So that's an art studio, and I try to model everything into the, through a script, so that you get a notion of how to scrap your data and make it work. So I will use a R library known as Shiny, and as you can see over here, there are three main files that you need to build. The first one is the global R, right? So the global R, as you can see, this is more like the different libraries or the packages you are gonna import, right? As you can see, I am using heavily shiny with Gplot, and then for modeling and others, I am using the deployer packages, and similarly, the other pieces to make it more interactive, like the Color Brewer, Plotly, and Ggiraffe, right? And then I will be loading the data sets again. As you can see over here, the notion is this. You no need to give the full path, but rather just the file name in the home directory will be sufficient, as you can see over here. And then, as you can see over here, right, like I am trying to merge the data sets over a common ID that helps to concatenate the tables, and then create a list of the unique categories. Again, something important if you have a big data sets. From the global settings, I will next go into the UI. It's more like the user experience and the dashboard design. So again, you can see over here, I will start with the overall header, which is more like how your interface will look like. Then I will go into the main body where you will see different tabs. Here I will be using the custom CSS. It's more like the HTML and the encoding so that your interface looks good. All of the code, by the way, will be available on the GitHub, right? And yeah, is part of the package. I have uploaded everything. Now after the custom CSS, right? Actually, what you can do, you need to define the different tabs. So it's just sequence by sequence. As you can see over here, I will define the layout. The first one is more like the dashboard, the overall dashboard, which I was showing you, right, where you will select your preferences and then it will go and trim down and make your selections. Then are the different boxes. So I was showing you the dashboard with the KPI box, and then the different tabs, the sales distribution, the discounts, how it is impacting the sales quantities. And as you can see, right, I am primarily using the giraffe, right, giraffe output to plot those. And then I am trying to use the float row so that each of those box I can adjust and place for the best visualizations, right? And that's pretty much all. The last thing is that I try to make sure you can scrape the data. So I have added a data table into this as well. And as you can clearly see that through this table, you can select the granularity and then export the data as well. Final piece actually comes to the server.r. As you can see over here, this server.r primarily explains how your whole logic will work. So again, I will be using the Shiny app. So you have seen the client side. This one is more like a server side, and there is a Shiny server, and then you can see over here the helper function I write basically to truncate because some of the items descriptions are too long, and it's good for table but not as good for the graphics. And then I will use the reactive, right? And the whole notion is filter the products based on the different criteria which I will be showing you in the dashboard. And then based on this it's gonna output. For example, this one is more like the logic I implemented to output the best price. Again, as I shown, I apply the logic so that it gives you a sort of top five items with the best prices. Similarly, the next portion is more like the top products. Again, as you can see, how simple is that. On the right, actually, when I run, you can see the scrape data. Actually, you can go inside, right? It can explain you all of the different fields and how it is doing, and I can obviously typecast it and used it in the way I can do. And same goes on total sales, and the whole notion is to explain you the modularity and how actually you can go deep and process your data and output the tables accordingly, right? And what else, right? I think I will go from the data part. It's more like, as you can see, ggiraffe and gplot, right? And the way you are gonna plot those charts. What is actually important is, so again, I also try to go to algorithmic deep to see how the causality works, how the setting of the different discounts is gonna change the sales pipeline. And then if you can see over here, the specific thing I want to emphasize it, right, is more like the AI and the predictive models, right? And that's where, because you will have the code, you just go and try, right? But this one is typically important one. And as you can see over here, right, I am basically applying the simplified ETS, which is more like exponential smoothing algorithm. And perhaps random forest is another way, but I just try to make it simple. And the whole idea is, right, you can apply a model and basically think about the sales chat bot, right, that follows a definite trend line and definite way to predict your quantities, right? So the notion is more like hitting an LLM, but rather follow your unique trend of data and then adjust it, reduce the dimensions and then give you an accurate results over time, right? And the last piece is on the data table, which I already explained you. It goes through the data, scrape it, you can select the different granularity, and then you are able to export everything, obviously, like based on your chart. Next, I will actually gonna show you how the running, code looks like. So again, as you can see over here, I explained you everything on this dashboard. So you start off by selecting your category, whatever you want, right? You can go one item or whatever items. And again, each seller is interested into a particular segment, and you can trim that. And then again, you can select the volume, again something important if you are a seller, and see how the bulk purchases versus normals is gonna impact. And then the prediction, as I explained, that's the main focus, right? It helps you plan your sales over time. And this is actually, and this is quite dynamic, right? If you just change the different item, as you can see on the runtime is gonna on the background and updating the graphs. And then similarly, it gives you a very nice clue of on how actually your different products are selling, how discounts are impacting. Most important, the sales pipeline. Again, I have selected 30, and obviously if I select 24, then as you can see, it is giving you 24. Important piece is also to play to the data. So as you can see, I am showing 10 entries over here. And the source data, I can like, if I want to manually process is check it, right? As you can see, I can pretty much export whatsoever and then download the data. So that is pretty much the basic and core logic I try to explain here. And I hope it explain you, right, the guys who have been working on SFDC and sales pipeline, like if you can export the data, that is all. And hopefully it can help you make some good sales. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I hope you can learn something usable over here. Again, on the GitHub, all the code is published. You can search my GitHub handle. That's Saad You Sheikh. And thank you very much. And if you like it, please do hit subscribe, and let's navigate this AI journey together. Thank you for joining AI Climbing with Sheikh. I'm signing off. Thank you very much. Bye.